Let's become pro readers. Hey Rosies, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I get myself into the art of annotating. So I have been slowly building a full bookshelf, as you see behind me, as I am promoting myself to full-time reader and author. Anyway, shorts of people highlighting, putting tabs and sticky notes on the pages, and just writing in their books have been showing up on my For You page more often. Yes, I do watch them, that is why. Anyways, at first I was a little mad because they were like ruining their books, but I looked into it some and found out that it's really just annotating. And annotating seems like a really fun and immersive addition to the hobby of reading. So that is what I will be learning about today. In this video, I'm going to be looking at how other people do it and forming my own method. And if you have not started annotating but you would like to, we can do this together. So what is annotating? The action of annotating a text, script, or passage is creating a note or comment, providing criticism or thoughts on the work you are reading. Annotations can be descriptive, evaluative, interpretive, or just a sharing of your emotions on the text. So it is truly just a real-time look at your thought process or emotion while reading. And now that we know what it is, we can look at how others do it and form our own system. Which brings me to the next part of the video, research. Alright, I took some notes that I would like to share with you, especially if you are getting into annotations with me. So, I only took a few, but they're pretty overall basic. First, tabbing is not used on every page, although it looks like it sometimes. If you scroll and see these annotation videos like I've been seeing, it looks like they've put a tab on every page. Not every page needs one, especially if there's fluff in the book. There doesn't need to be tabbing everywhere. There's not so much action going on. Tab keys are good to keep handy, which makes a lot of sense because if you finish annotating a book, you have a bunch of tabs in it, all different colors, meaning different things. If you come back to pick up the book, you're not going to remember what you tabbed for. So, write a tab key, guys. Try not to use pencil. Pencil will smudge, pencil will, I don't even know, it'll kind of just smear and get everywhere. That's also why you should use a certain pen. I think they said ballpoint, I don't know. Tabbing is mostly centered on emotion. I did watch videos where other people did character development and things of that sort. Most people I saw did emotions. So that is what I'm going to stick with today also. There are universal rules for writing on the pages. Again, everyone does this differently. Most people I watched did the same thing. We're going to talk about that in a later chapter of the video. Finally, annotating will be different for you at first than when you do it more often. So do not be discouraged if it doesn't look as cool or as aesthetic as these shorts that you're watching. I'm going to annotate with you today, and I know mine's not going to look that good either. Please don't be discouraged. It will get better the more you do it. So just stick to the task, stick to practicing, and you'll get better. And there's really not a real way to do it. Again, everyone has their own opinions. Keeping it simple, I bought a kit off Amazon to get me started. I would like to show you the materials inside, so hopefully you get a good idea of what you should be using. So, with my beautiful kit. Lovely. Anyways, yes, we have ballpoint pens. We have special highlighters. They're very lightly colored. I already tested them out. They should not go through the page, neither should the pen. I'm gonna hope for the best. I have different colored sticky notes, but they are transparent. So I will be able to put them over words on the page and still be able to read what's under it. So I can like put them under something to underline it, but I think I'm just gonna underline with pen. We'll see what happens when I get in the flow. And then of course we have tabs. I don't feel like taking them out right now, but there's 3 little boxes of tabs, all different colors. So that brings me to creating a tabbing key. Okay, real quick before I grab the page I'm going to write the key on. I just want to note, in the videos I saw a lot of people creating a different key for every book they annotated. That is a lot of work for beginners, so I'm just going to stick to using one overall key for books for now. Okay guys, this lighting took me forever. Please don't judge. I know there are shadows. I tried my best. Anyways, let's get started on our annotation key. Also, please don't judge the handwriting. I am a very fast writer. So, I did end up having to take my tabs out. So I'm just going to write down some emotions and pick colors to match. You can follow along with the same ones, or you do whatever floats your little boat. Obviously, you need to have a color for love, and I want that to be a very pretty rosy color. So we're going to do this tab for love. Oh my gosh. Okay, this isn't a very aesthetic key, it's just simple, great for beginners like ourselves. Love, humorous. I say that could be, oh, this is a lot tougher than I thought, and it's just picking colors. Well, I'm also gonna have like happy scenes and sad scenes, and you know the colors for those. We gotta go blue and yellow. So I'm thinking humorous could be this pretty purple or maybe a green. I think I'm gonna go with the green. Okay guys, we are on a roll. We already have 2 emotions written down. Okay, let's go ahead and write happy scenes and sad scenes. And I mean, the colors for those are obvious. I don't want to use too many of my tabs, so I think we'll pair one. We could do anger and suspense. Let's do a monotone shade. We could do this gray. These colors are looking cute. Oops. All right, what else is there? I mean, I have to have a tab for relatable, guys. Come on. Okay, so the video cut out and I didn't realize. I added relatable and plot twist, and I mentioned lying to you guys. I'm very sorry. Yes, I lied about the emotion thing. It's not just going to be emotions, because there are some other great things we can tab in here. So we'll have a relatable tab, a plot twist tab. I think we could get one more in there, 1 or 2 more in there. Quotes, duh. And I mean, a little inspiration never hurt anybody. So I'm going to do style to remember for me as a brighter. Things like this help me very much. Now let's pick some colors. We don't want to make them too close to any of the others or we will get mixed up. I want to do this pretty purple for one. Let's see. What suits this lilac? Oh, the purple's hard to see on camera, but it is a lilac color. I think this should go on. Relatable. I really wish we had a deep red for plot twist. For right now, that's not too close. I'm working with this color, which is close enough to what I'm looking for. And finally, quotes and style. We're just going to do this neutral tan for style and this lighter blue for quotes. Okay, we have a beautiful starter here. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. We just need to know what we are putting into our books for later reference. And now that we have a simple tabbing key, we can talk writing on the pages, words and symbols. I'm just going to follow the majority of videos I saw with this one and say that brackets mark what I'm writing about in the margins. Highlighting and underlining marks lines to pay attention to or just pieces of the text I really enjoyed. Squiggly lines say, I don't know what this means or I'm confused. And boxes or circles mark things to pay extra attention to, like a connection I made or something else. Okay guys, I think we have a really solid system going on here. I think it is founded well. Is that the right word? I don't know. Before I do my real-time annotation with the next book on my TBR, I'm going to do a practice run on a book I recently finished. I'm just gonna pick just a place in the book that I really liked and see what happens. Hopefully it goes smoothly, or else I might be discouraged to do the book on my TBR. The book Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I'm just going to say real quick, I really do recommend this book, especially for young adult readers. If you fancy the fantasy YA genre, this is the book for you. This was a 10 out of 10 for me. I have chosen a page of a spot in the book I really enjoyed upon the first read. I hope nothing is spoiled, so I'm going to warn you now. If you plan on reading this book or are in the middle of it, I do not want to spoil anything for you, but these 2 pages should not do that. So, this is just going to be raw footage of me annotating. I really do think these 2 pages will be packed full of annotations. So, let's see what I can do. Again, this is going to be really just rough and random, maybe, because this is new for me. This is actually my very first time annotating, if you have not gotten that from this video. This is a fantasy book, so if I say something wrong, please do not get on to me about it in the comments. You can help me say it correctly if you'd like, but please don't be mad. Okay. I've got all my items. I have my key to the side here. Better. Okay. I think, honestly, I do want to start with tabbing, so let's see if we can find something. She turned and realized she was still holding Jess's hand. He smiled, but it carried some concern. You don't have to do this. She wondered whether he was embarrassed for her or for himself, for bringing her, a lady, a member of the gentry, someone with soft hands and a head full of emptiness, someone who was not mad enough to belong at the Hatter's tea parties. Already I'm gonna stop. Lovely, lovely. I love Marissa's writing, honestly. This book is one that has inspired me so much through improving my writing style also. So, I think here a good tab could be, what did I feel here? I fell in love with this. The way she can describe things, but so vaguely, really feels like I am there at the tea party with them. And, I mean, that's what you want to see when you're reading a book. That's what you want to feel. Okay, instead of tabbing, I'm going to highlight and underline. Let me pick a cute highlighter. Let's try this one. I haven't tried all of these, so I honestly don't know what it's going to look like, but this one is cute. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry if it focuses on my hands. You'll be able to see it when I pull away. Oh my gosh, this is so weird to be doing this to a book. Okay, I do think this will turn out to be fun though, so. Where'd I put my pen? Okay. Okay, I really enjoyed that. So if you want to know what I highlighted someone with soft hands and a head full of emptiness. Someone who is not mad enough to belong at the Hatter's tea parties. And then I underlined soft hands and head full of emptiness, because I think it really tells us what Kath, which if you don't know what this book is or what it's about, Kath, or Catherine, is the main character. So I think that really just gives us some more insight into how Kath thinks, feels, just who she is, but who she doesn't have to be, if that makes sense. So, let us keep reading. She yanked her hand away and faced the Hatter. His heels were on the table again. His fingers what? Okay. His fingers fiddling with his cravat. Her father was known throughout Hearts as a great storyteller, a gift that had been passed down through her family over generations, and yet had somehow skipped her over. Now Catherine struggled to remember one of his tales, the ones that could enchant a school of wayward fish. That's interesting. I enjoy that. We're gonna highlight that. A school of a wayward fish. The ones that could make the clouds cry and bring mountains to their knees. Again, her writing, just beautiful. I actually think I'm going to tab here with my little tan tab, style to remember, after I do some underlining. Okay, so I'm kind of just underlining keywords. I think I have seen people highlight and underline every word they highlighted. I'm just going to do this for now. It seems to be working for me. Okay. Yeah, let's tab here. I think if I tab also, I can read through it. That is amazing. So honestly, I don't know how far in I should tab, but let's see. That looks good. Does it not? Yeah, that looks good. Once upon a time, she started, but had to stop when the words caught in her throat. She rubbed her damp palms on her skirt and discovered a crackling lump in her pocket. Her heart flipped. There was a girl. She was the daughter of a marquess. I think that's how you say that. The corners of Hatta's mouth tilted downward. Though she was raised to be a lady, Kath said, turning away and scanning the enraptured guests, or at least guests who were waiting and willing to be enraptured, and taught all the things a lady ought to be taught. She was only good at one thing. It was not a big thing, or an important thing, or even a ladylike thing, but it was what she really loved to do. She slid her hand into her pocket and pulled out the package of macaroons. The wax paper had crinkled throughout the day, though the twine bow securing it had held. Around the table, the guests tilted forward. She hesitated. I make confections, you see. Did she say confessions? The old lady murmured. Oh dear, I fear I have done a lot worth confessing this year. Kath smiled. No, confections. She opened the wax paper, revealing 5 rows macaroons. A little crumbled around the edges, but otherwise intact. A silence descended onto the table. Unconventional indeed, Hatter drawled, brow drawn with suspicion, but what do? Catherine didn't retract her hand. They don't do anything. They won't make you smaller or larger, but I do hope they might make you happier. These were meant to be a king. What? These were meant to be a gift for the king himself, but I was distracted today. I forgot to give them to him. She dared not look at Jess. Okay, I want to pause real quick. Not to annotate anything, but just to sit with this for a minute and maybe explain to you if you have no idea what this book is or what it's about. Another reason I suggest this to people, especially if you love the Alice in Wonderland world, this is of that. This book follows, like I said, Catherine, which is the Red Queen before her reign. So, that's why you heard me say they don't do anything. They won't make you smaller or larger, but I do hope they might make you happier. So, you know, from the movies, the smaller, larger foods. Yeah. I honestly thought there'd be more annotations here. I still have a little, like half the page left, but honestly, I am happy with what I have, even though it's 2 lines of annotation. I am really afraid to mess up writing something down on the paper. But we just need to press on and see what happens, so. A gift for the king, Hadda said. That does sound promising. He waved his cane at Heyy, who reached up and took the macaroons out of Kath's palm. Her breath left her in a rush, relieved to have them gone. She was still shaking with nerves. Sorry guys, I want to pause again. This is a video about annotation. There's going to be a bit of pausing. So, her breath left her in a rush, relieved to have them gone. She was still shaking with nerves. So earlier on, she was supposed to give them to the king, but she held on to them because we all know she doesn't like the king in that way. So she's trying her hardest, like, not to show that she does. So I'm going to do something with this here. I want to do something with this because it means something to the story. But what do I want to do? Her breath left her in a rush, relieved to have them gone. She was still shaking with nerves. I mean, maybe I haven't done any sticky notes yet. The only time I had one in here was just to mark the page I wanted to do. Let's look at the colors. But I could sticky note this, and like I said, you can see right through them, just like you can that tab, and still be able to read. So, and Kath is very like princessy and stuff. She gives me this vibe. So we're going to do a pink, and what I've seen people do is just put it, oh, that was loud. What I've seen people do is just put it right under where they want to kind of, that kind of is, yeah, okay, whatever. Right under where they want to, kind of like underline it, but instead of underlining, putting a sticky note on it. I don't even know, does that look good? I may have to change that later. It feels like it comes out really easy, so. Anyways, let us continue through the sticky notes. Heyy laid the macaroons out on a plate and, one by one, cut the sandwich meringues as neatly as he could. They crumbled and squished under the knife. The crowd gathered close, watching as the buttercream filling oozed and stuck to the paper. Feeling a tug at her skirt, Catherine turned to see Jess holding his hand toward her again. She allowed him to pull her down from the table. "You made those?" he whispered. "Of course I did," she said, and couldn't help adding, "And as you'll see, Hadda isn't the only one here who can make marvelous things." Gonna have to move the sticky note real quick. I would like to highlight that. Very cute indeed. Maybe an underline. The underline just like, it really brings out the highlighting. I really do like it. We could underline this whole line. I kind of missed that first word. Already messing up. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I've seen people like decorate around them. Like if there's a love line, if I were to put a love tab anywhere, nothing on this page, but if I were to, they'd have a bunch of hearts around the line that they circled. Anyways, let us finish with these last few lines. His lips quirked. His eyes had a new intensity, like he was trying to figure out a riddle. The pieces of macaroon were passed around the table, and even offered to Raven, sitting darkly on his bust, though he huffed and turned his head. That is not the end of the sentence, but it stops there, and I said 2 pages, so we are done. I do want to real quick give you another spoiler warning before I begin the next book on my TBR, because it is a book in the middle of a series. It is the 3rd book in the 3 Dark Crowns series. This book is called 2 Dark Reigns. If you are in the middle of the series, haven't reached this book, haven't finished it, or if you plan on reading it, I suggest you stop watching here. Thank you kindly. I do not want to be the one to spoil anything for you guys. I would honestly hate that, and probably wouldn't live with myself for a little bit. So, look at her one little tab. She's so cute. Alright, I will continue to go back through this book eventually and finish annotating it. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Anyways, for now, let us begin our actual annotations, and let's start. 2 Dark Reigns. I'm not going to explain all the lore behind this. I mean, just go read the series. If you really want to understand what's going on. I'm not gonna go too far in, so I shouldn't spoil much, but honestly don't know what's gonna come up. So, this is the lovely map. Love it, love it. And now we begin. Ooh, I love this little prologue. Okay, I'm gonna, you know what paperbacks are, I'm gonna hold this here. The Black Cottage, 400 years before the birth of Mirabella, Arsenault, and Catherine. The labor, when it began, was hard and full of blood. Nothing less was to be expected from a war queen, especially one so battle-hardened as Queen Philomene. I'm gonna guess that's how you say that. I'm sure you can say it however, though. The midwife pressed a cool cloth to the queen's forehead, but the queen shoved it away. The pain is nothing, Queen Philomene said. I welcome the last fight. This last fight. I really like that. Honestly, I'm gonna change the color of my highlighter, too. So, let's go... They said War Queen. I mean, it's a more neutral color. Or like a red? I don't really... I don't know. This kit came with like really pretty pastels for aesthetic videos, I'm guessing. And just for the... Okay. And just for the aesthetics of annotating. So I may need to get some more like deeper hardcore colors eventually. And honestly, I'm gonna check real quick. It doesn't seem like it's going through. I should have checked on Heartless also. That was a darker color, but we're just gonna hope the advertising was correct. And the reviews. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there because I know I'm gonna need it again. I really do enjoy that I'm on, what am I trying to say? Immediately into this book. I really enjoy the look at how tough these queens really have to act and be. And some of it really is just an act. So I think I might want to tab that. I mean, with our key, there's nothing that really suits it. The pain is nothing. I welcome this last fight. I'm gonna leave it untabbed for now, and we're just gonna... I might come back to it someday with a new annotation key. We'll see. Okay, let us continue. You think there will be no more war for you in Lewis's country? The midwife asked. Even if your gift fades after you leave the island, I cannot imagine that. The queen looked toward the door, where Lewis, her king consort, could be glimpsed pacing back and forth. Her black eyes glittered from the excitement of the labor. Her black hair shone slick with sweat. Guys, I can't speak. Shone slick with sweat. He wants this to be over. He did not know what he was getting into when he got me. Nor did anyone. Queen Philomene's entire reign was marked by battle. Under her, the capital city was overrun by warriors. She built long ships and plundered the coastal villages of every nation, state, except for that of her king consort. But now, all that was over. 8 years of brutal warrior rule. A short reign, even by War Queen standards, but the island was exhausted by it nonetheless. War Queens were glory in intimidation, protection. It was not only her husband who was relieved when the goddess sent the queen her triplets. Okay, so that's a big thing about this book. Every queen has triplets. It starts the new reign for 3 queens. They battle to the death when they're old enough. And yes, again, not explaining all the lore. There is quite a bit. So if you're really interested, stop watching and start the series. I think I'm going to highlight War Queens were glory in intimidation, protection. She strained as another pain struck her, and she turned her knee to see more blood darken the bedding. Sorry, I looked up at the camera. You are doing well, the midwife lied, but what did she really know? She was young and new in service at the Black Cottage, a poisoner by gift, and therefore a clever healer. But though she had aided in many births, there was no true preparation for the birth of queens. Y'all, okay, why do things keep happening to me? I stopped reading in the last one because I look up and my camera was going dark. I click on it and then it dies. So, I mean, we're back now, better than ever, ready to continue reading and annotating. I love that we only got to page 2, but I am back. Anyways, yeah, I held off from reading just for you guys, so you are welcome. And let us continue. Where were we? We're at... Oh yes, we read that the midwife lied. Okay, I am, Philomene agreed and smiled. It is like a war queen to bleed so much, but I still think I will die of this. The midwife dipped the cloth back into the cool water and wrung it out, ready in case Philomene should let her use it. Perhaps she would. After all, who would see? To the island, the queen was effectively dead once her triplets were born. The horses to take her and Lewis to the river barge and onto their ship were already saddled and waiting. And once gone, Philomene and Lewis would never return. Even the doting little midwife would forget her the moment the babies were out. She put on a show of caring, but her only aim was to keep Philomene alive long enough to bear the triplets. That's kind of sad, but I mean, it's the life of the queens in this book. Maybe a highlight situation? Maybe blue mark tab. It's not like crazy sad. These queens are ruthless. Don't like them much, but we can leave it for now. How about that? Philomene glanced at the table of herbs and clean black cloths, jars of potion to dull the pain, all refused, of course. There were knives upon it as well, to cut the new queens free should the old one prove too weak. Philomene smiled. The midwife was a small, meek thing. Her trying to slice them out might be a feat worth watching. These war queens are insane. She's smiling through birth, like she's hurt. She wants to see the small, meek midwife try and cut the children out of her. Like, what? The pain passed and Philomene sighed. They are in a hurry, she said, as I was. In a hurry since I was born, to make my mark. Perhaps I knew I would have a short time to do it in. Or perhaps it was the strain of rushing that shortened my life. You came from the temple, did you not? Before serving in solitude here? I trained there, my queen, at the temple in Bryn, but I never took the oaths. Of course not. I can see that there are no bracelets marked into your arms, and I am not blind. She strained again, and more blood gushed forth. The pains were coming faster. The midwife grasped I need to go to bed. I don't know how much I'm going to read for you guys. Let me try again. The midwife grasped her by the chin and pulled her eyelids back. You are weakening. What an image. I don't even know, like, I just felt that needed to be highlighted. Okay. I am not. Philomene fell back on the bed. She placed her hands atop her great distended belly in a near motherly gesture, but she would not ask about the baby queens. They were not hers to wonder about. All belonged to the goddess, and the goddess alone. Philomene struggled back up onto her elbows. A look of grim determination set on her face. She snapped her fingers for the midwife to take her place between her knees. Here we go. You are ready to push, the midwife said. It will be all right. You are strong. I thought you just said I was weakening, Philomene grumbled. The first queen born was born silent, breathing, but she did not even cry when the midwife slapped her across the back. She was small and well-formed, and very pink for such a hard, messy birth. The midwife held her up for Philomene to see, and for a moment, Queen's blood flowed between them through the connection of the cord. Oh goodness, new names to try and say. Leonid, Philomene said, giving the little queen her name, a naturalist. The midwife repeated it aloud and took the baby away to be cleaned and placed in a bassinet, then covered in a blanket of bright green and embroidered with flowers. It was not long before the next baby came, screaming this time, and with tiny clenched fists. Isidora, the queen said, and the baby wailed and blinked her wide black eyes. An oracle. Isidora, an oracle, the midwife repeated, and she took her away to be wrapped in a blanket of pale gray and yellow, the colors of the seers. The third queen born arrived in a rush of blood, as if on a wave. It was so much and so gruesome that Philomene's mouth opened to announce a new war queen, but those were not the words that came out. Roxanne, an elemental. Okay, pausing real quick. I've always been, throughout reading the first two books, I was curious of how they can shoot, like, I don't even know, how they know what they are. Like, she knew it was an oracle, an elemental, a naturalist. It's very interesting. I think, like, the goddess is telling her, maybe in some way, for every queen that births the next triplets. I don't know, just very interesting to think about. Maybe some underlining, highlighting, underlining here. That is a lot, though. Well, I am on here to annotate. Might as well. I'll just do a little bit at a time. Oh, dang it. I should have done, like, different colored highlighters for each baby, but too late. Well, I still could, but... Actually, sure. Let's do that. Oracle reminds me of a blue. This is sort of blue. Isadora. Oh, this is blue. It did not look very blue. And I can still read it, so it's good. That looks like a lot of ink. Nope, what's it? Wrapped in a blanket of pale gray and yellow, colors of the seers. Roxanne, an elemental, and those are the triplets. Then we may continue. Oh my gosh, okay. Elemental, I'm gonna do, they're like lightning and stuff. This is the closest I have to a red. It might come out on paper red, I don't know. Kind of like the blue did. We'll see. No, it's pink. The midwife repeated the final name and turned away, cleaning the baby before wrapping her in blue and placing her in the last bassinet. Philomene breathed heavily in the birthing bed. She had been right. She could feel it. The birth had killed her. Strong as she was, she might survive long enough to be bound up and put into the saddle, but it would be a body that Louis sailed home with, to be entombed in his family crypt, or perhaps pushed overboard into the sea. Her duty to the island was finished, and the island would have no more say in her fate. Midwife! Philomene groaned as another pain tore through her. Yes, yes, the midwife replied soothingly. It is only the afterbirth. It will pass. It is not afterbirth. It is not... She grimaced and bit her lip against one more push. Another baby? Oh no, they're only supposed to have triplets. Another baby slipped out from the war queen's womb, easily and without fuss. She opened her black eyes and took an enormous breath. Another baby born, another queen. a blue queen, the midwife murmured, a fourth born. Oh, I should have waited to use the blue highlighter for that. A fourth born is crazy, so I didn't end up underlining the others. We're going to underline this. We're just going to use green. A blue queen, a fourth born. So I'm just gonna do that on the fourth because there should only be 3. Okay. Give her to me. The midwife only stared. Give her to me now. She scooped the baby up, and Philomene snatched her from her hands. Ilian, Philomene said, an elemental. Her exhausted, depleted face broke into a smile. Any disappointment of there being no new war queen vanished, for here was a great destiny. A blessing for the entire island. And she, Philomene, had done it. Ilian, the shocked midwife repeated, an elemental, the blue queen. Philomene laughed. She raised the child in her arms. Ilian, she shouted, the blue queen. The days spent waiting for someone to arrive at the Black Cottage were long. After the birth of the blue queen, the messengers raced back to their cities with the news. They had been at the Black Cottage. Their horses saddled the moment the queen's labor began. A fourth born. It was such a rare occurrence that it was thought by some to be mere legend. We can go ahead and underline that in the same, or highlight in the same green as we're still speaking about the blue queen. I think that fits. Okay. At the midwife's announcement, none of the young messengers had known what to do. She had finally needed to screech at them. A blue queen, she had shouted, blessed of the goddess. All must come, all the families, and the high priestess as well. Ride. Had only the triplets been born, just 3 families and a small party. Oh, excuse me. A small party of priestesses would have come to the cottage. The traverses for the naturalist queen. The burgeoning Westwoods for the elemental, and the Lermonts for the poor little oracle queen, to oversee her drowning. I forgot about that. Real quick, I can let you know, anytime an oracle is born, they see into the future, they are meant to be drowned upon birth, which is very, very sad. They didn't even have a chance to live. I'm pretty sure other oracles are alive though, oh, obviously, because it says they would watch. So that's very interesting. I guess only queen oracles cannot live. It's been a little bit since I read the first 2 books, so I don't remember too much, but I remember like the base of the story. Okay. The Vatros clan, who inhabited the capital and the war city of Bastion, and even the Arryns, the poisoners from Prin. Inside the cottage, beneath the dark brown beams supporting the ceiling, 4 bassinets sat beside the eastern wall to catch the sunlight of morning. All were quiet, except for the baby in the light gray blanket. The little oracle fussed almost constantly, perhaps because, being an oracle, she knew what was to happen. Poor little oracle queen, her fate had always been sealed. Since the time of Mad Queen Elizabeth, who used her prophecy gift to murder 3 whole families she said had plotted against her, oracle queens were immediately drowned. Okay, there we go. That's some explanation. I kind of wish there was some tapping. We'll get there, I'm sure. But there's some explanation. Well, I think I'm going to box that in. Wait, we can highlight some, underline, and then box. Oh, that was a terrible line. Almost went right through the S. That's sort of, I don't know what I just drew. What the heck? Okay. I was just working quick. I mean, it works. It works fine. That was one of the fears I had going into this annotating today. Messing something up. But it doesn't look bad, so it is okay. And if I like emphasize this a little more, You'll see that I didn't mean to include that in the box. Okay, I'm gonna stop drawing right there. It's gonna make it worse. After wresting power away from Elizabeth, the Black Council had made the decree. They would not risk such an unjust massacre again. In the days following the birth, the midwife burned the old queen's bedding. It could not be cleaned, so soaked through with blood. She did not wonder where the old queen was or how she fared. Looking at the state of the sheets, she could only assume Philomene was dead. Just over a week past the birth, the first of the families arrived. The Lermonts, the oracles from the northwest city of Sumpool, nearest to the Black Cottage, though they also insisted they had foreseen the child's coming and had been ready to travel when the messenger arrived. They looked across the tops of the 4 black bassinets. They looked down gravely at the little oracle queen. A day later came the Westwoods, new in their elemental dominance and foolish. They cooed over the elemental queen and brought her a gift of a blanket colored with bright blue dye. We had it made for her, said Isabel Westwood, the head of the family. There is no reason she should not have it, even though her life is short. After them, the Traverses arrived from Steelhead, and that same evening the Aarons and the hard-riding Vertroses arrived within minutes of each other to bear silent witnesses. The Vertroses, rich and well gifted from the War Queen's reign, brought the High Priestess with them from the capital. The midwife knelt before the High Priestess and gave the Queen's names. When she said Ilian, the High Priestess clapped her hands together. A blue queen, she murmured, and went toward the baby. I can scarcely believe it. I thought the messengers had gotten it wrong. She reached down and took up the child, cradling her in the crook of her white-robed arms. An elemental blue queen, said Isabel Westwood, and the High Priestess shushed her with a look. The blue queen belongs to us all. She will not grow up in an elemental house. She will grow up in the capital, and enter down with me. But the midwife sputtered. Every head in the room turned toward her. They had forgotten the midwife was even there. You, midwife, will call the queen's sisters, and then you will come with us. The midwife lowered her head. The naturalist queen was left in the forest. Oh, this is sad. I don't know if I should highlight with their colors again, like a little honor, because they're killing them as little babies. Yeah, we can do that. So Leonin, the naturalist queen, was left in the forest for the earth and the animals. The little doomed oracle was drowned in the stream. The elemental queen was placed on the tiny raft to be pushed out into the water and onto the sea. Both she and the midwife, let's go ahead and do their names. Both she and the midwife were weeping. Leonin, Isadora, and Roxanne. I think it'd be cute if we drew like little pictures here. Uh-oh, okay. Ooh, I made that highlighter a little dark there. Not my best work. It's okay. It'd be cute, like, I really don't want to mess this up, but Roxanne's elemental. I don't know what kind of elemental she could be, but I'm just going to draw little flames here. Okay. Isadora and Oracle. She could see into, I don't know what to draw, but I'm going to draw, I hardly have any room, but an hourglass. Yeah, okay, I didn't really have room. An hourglass. And for Leonin, beautiful. So beautiful. Okay. Return to the goddess who had given them Ilian to rule instead. Ilian, blessed in blue. I'm guessing that is the last of the prologue. That was beautiful. Okay. If I'm being honest with you guys, I did not let my camera charge for long. It's going to die again, so I think we read a few chapters into this. I mean, what? A few pages into this chapter, but don't finish it. I mean, I don't know how long it is. Okay, just a couple more pages, and then I will stop. I mean, we're on page 10 now, so we did pretty well today, I'd say. The Volroy. Queen Catherine sits for her portrait painting in one of the high west-facing rooms of the West Tower, just one floor below her own apartments. In her left hand, she holds an empty bottle, which in the painting will become a beautiful poison. Oh my goodness. Curled around her right is a coil of white rope that the painter's brush will turn into the likeness of Sweetheart. She turns her head to the window to look out over Injured Down. Dark brown roofs of the North End row houses and roads disappearing into the hills. The sky dotted with smoke from chimneys and cut through by the tall, finely built stone structures of the central city. It is a calm and beautiful day. Workers work, families eat and laugh and play, and she woke up that morning in Peter's arms. All is well, better than well, now that her troublesome sisters are dead. Okay, so I liked that style there. I love books when they're like really descriptive. So I'm just going to do this here. Finally a tab in here. And then down here where she put her sisters are dead, I'm just gonna do dot dot dot. Hopefully everyone who's going to get this spoiled for them has left. Her sisters are in fact not dead. She just wants to believe that they are, so that she can rule and be queen. Okay. Please raise your chin. Oh, I guess I should highlight that, shouldn't I? Just so I know what I tabbed. Okay. I already covered some of the words. Okay. Please raise your chin, Queen Catherine, and straighten your back. She does as she is told, and the painter smiles, a little fearfully. He is the finest master painter in all of Injured Down, quite used to painting poisoners and the common poisoner groups. Props. What? What am I saying? Common poisoner props. But there is no mere portrait. This is the Queen Crown's portrait, and working on it makes even the finest master sweat. They have set her so the view through the window behind her right shoulder will show Gravestrake Manor. It was her idea, though the Aarons will take credit for it. She did not do it for them, but for Natalia. Oh, that's actually really sweet. I'm gonna have to do that. She did not do it for them, but for Natalia. A small thing to honor the great head of the family, the woman who raised Catherine as if she were her own daughter. Because of her, Gravestrake will always be present, a shadow of influence over her reign. She had wanted to set the urn of Natalia's ashes in her lap, but Peter had talked her out of it. Queen Catherine. Peter strides into the room, looking handsome as always in a black jacket and dove-gray shirt, his ice-blonde hair pushed back from his temples. He pauses behind the painter. It is coming along nicely. You will be beautiful. Beautiful. She adjusts the empty bottle and rope in her hands. I feel ridiculous. Peter claps the painter on the shoulder. I need a moment with the queen, if you do not mind. Perhaps a short break? Of course. He sets down his brush, bows, and leaves, his eyes moving quickly over the bottle and rope, so he will know how to reset them. Is it truly good? Catherine asks after the painter has gone. I cannot bring myself to look. Perhaps we should have brought in a master from Roland. That city is mine now too, and you know they have better artists. Not even the best master from Roland, because I'm sorry if you hear my voice getting a little raggedy. Not even the best master from Roland could be trusted not to sabotage the portrait so soon after a contentious ascension. Peter follows her to the west-facing window and slides his arms around her waist. A poisoner painter is best. His arms tighten, fingers sliding across her bodice. Do you remember those first days at Gravestrake? It seems so long ago now. Oh my goodness, I really do need to stop in a minute. Everything seems so long ago, Catherine murmurs. She is right. I'm gonna put a relatable tab because, yes. Which one is that? It's this one, right? Yeah. Yay, we already got 2 tabs in here. It's looking great. She remembers her manor bedroom, all the striped silk and soft pillows, how she sat as a child with those pillows pushed into her lap, listening to Natalia tell stories. She remembers the library and the floor-to-ceiling velvet drapes, whose folds she used to hide behind whenever Genevieve was sent to poison her. It feels like Natalia is still there, does it not, Peter? Like if we looked hard enough, we could see her standing with her arms crossed before the window of her study. It does, dearest. If I'm being honest with you guys, I do not like Peter. He's so pushy. He kisses her temple, her cheek, nibbles her earlobe so a shiver runs through her. But you must never speak so to anyone but me. I know you loved her, but you are a queen now. You are the queen, and there is no time for childhood longing. Come and look at these. He leads her to a table and lays out a sheaf of papers for her to sign. I'm gonna put another tab on this page, and it's my anger/suspense tab, and that is because, let me make a new sort of highlighting also. That's because I do not like when Peter does stuff like this, where he's like, you are the queen and there's no time for childhood longing. She is still young, and it kind of makes me really mad. Like I said, he's so pushy, and I don't even know how to if you've read this book, maybe you agree with me. I don't know, I butchered that underline so bad. Anyways, anger and suspense, that's my gray tab, a pretty gray. That's really far in. Hold on, let me fix that. What are they? Work orders, he says. For the ships we will provide as gifts to King Consort Nicholas's family. 6 fine ships to ease their pain. This is more than just ships, Catherine says, but whatever they give is a small price to pay. The Martells had sent their favored son to become the king consort of Finburn Island, and he had not even lasted a week before being killed in a fall from his horse. A bad fall, thrown down a shallow ravine. It took most of another week to find his body after his horse came back without its rider, and by then, poor Nicholas had been dead a long time. If only they knew exactly how long. The story of the fall was a lie, a fabrication, worked up by Peter and Genevieve, so that... Sorry, got a low battery notification. How about we do this page and we'll go to here, okay? I'll read just a teensy bit faster. That she's a poisoner. What? That she's a poisoner in the most literal sense. Her whole body toxic to the touch. No one could ever know that, not even the island, or they would also know that she can bear no mainland fathered children. That she cannot bear the next triplet queens of Finburn. That's important to the story, very important to the story. Like, I don't know if she's gonna stay queen or her sisters will come back and one of them will take the throne. Neither of them have like their sight on it. They don't want to be queen, but they might to keep the island safe. Who knows? Whenever she thinks of that, she nearly freezes in fear. What are we doing, Peter? Her head hangs over her half-finished signature. What is the point if at the end of it all, I cannot provide my people with new queens? Peter sighs. Look at this with me, Cat. He takes her hand and they return to the portrait. There's not much to it yet. Shapes and impressions, the blackness of her gown. But the painter is gifted, and even at... Oops, sorry. And even at... so early a stage, she can imagine what the finished painting will look like. Catherine, the fourth poisoner queen, it will be called. Catherine of the Poisoner dynasty, who follows in the footsteps of the 3 previous poisoners, Queen Nicola, Queen Sandrine, and Queen Camille. It is who you are, and we have plenty of time to put things in place to ensure the future of the island. My whole long reign. Yes, 30, perhaps 40 years. Peter, she laughs. Queens do not rule that long anymore. She sighs and cocks her head at her unfinished image, barely begun and unknown, much like she herself is. I enjoy that. I didn't even get the words. I underlined with the highlighter. I don't want to put too much ink on the page. It looks okay. Guys, I'll get better at this. Who knows what she might do during her years as queen? Who knows the changes she might make? And Peter is right. The people will know what they need to know. Already they do not know that she was thrown down into the Brecca domain, saved from death by the spirits of the dead sisters who were thrown down similarly, when their ascensions failed. The people do not know that she has no true gift of her own, and what strength that she has is borrowed from those same dead queens, who even now race through her blood in a rotten current. Sometimes I wonder whose crown this is, Peter. Mine, she whispers, or theirs. I could not have done it without them. Perhaps. But you do not need them anymore. I thought, he says and clears his throat, I thought they might be gone, that they might leave you alone now that they have what they wanted. Catherine's stomach flutters. Her hunger for poison and her lust for blood have slackened since her sisters sailed into the mist to drown. So perhaps Peter is right. Perhaps the dead queens are finished. Perhaps now they will grow quiet and content. She finishes signing the orders Peter brought and takes up her empty bottle and rope as the painter returns. He wraps the rope again around her wrist over and over until he has it just as it was. We must work quickly now before I lose light. He lifts her chin with a finger and gently positions her head, daring one moment to look into her eyes. How many sets of eyes do you see? She asks, and he blinks at her uncertainly. Only yours, my queen. Ooh, I like that. I think she was hinting at the dead queens in there. Okay. Like I said, guys, that was it. My camera is very low. Real quick, actually. This time we got 3 little tabs. Better than Artless. I mean, we did read more pages. I think I'm pretty happy with how this begun. I guess that's annotating. I'm really excited to continue and just see where this new addition to my hobby takes me. It seems like a lot of fun to be more interactive with these books and just more in the story, if you know what I mean. Hopefully you learned something from this video or just annotated right alongside me. I hope I helped some of you out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my novel on Amazon. This is it. Go look there. Also, guys, I recently hit 369 subs, so thank you so much. Congratulations to me. Our community is growing so fast, and I am so excited to see where it goes. I hope this video found the right audience, and I hope you, audience, really enjoyed my video. I hope it helped you in some way, or maybe it was just entertaining for you. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, drop a rose emoji in the comments. Okay, love you, Rosies. Bye!